Hello from Gardening at Douentza here in Ireland, and you're very welcome to this garden update video. Now this one follows very closely on the back of the previous one I made, and I called it the March garden update, but it was so popular I decided just to show you what's been happening in the garden in the week since the very last video, and just share some of the new things that are bursting forth into flower in this most exciting time of year. So let's have a look at what's going on in the garden. And a very good morning to you all. It's beautifully sunny here this morning, although it's been raining last night, and I just had to come out and take a few shots in the garden while the sun was out. I think there's something really magical about the early morning light, and the bird song as well is extra sweet. After the rain, I feel the garden always looks so much better. The earth is darker in colour, a better foil for the flowers, and the flowers, they just seem to take that water and yum it down and say, oh yes. As you can see, more daffodils have opened since last time round, and I do have some of the peony hoops in position, like that square one just over there. And I don't know if you can see the other round one just to the right of the picture. And here we are, just taking a closer look at some of those daffodils, and there's one right there in the middle that's my absolute favourite. Now let me see if I can show you these ones, because one of these I lifted and brought into the house, and isn't it just fabulous? Now when I brought this inside and put it in a vase, my husband wouldn't believe it was a daffodil. He reckoned it was like a camellia, and the flowers, they really do look like camellia flowers. And the ones with the orange in them are just coming now as well. Not fully opened, but looking really good. Look at these little flecks of orange, and that'll open fully and that'll be very nice. And the hyacinths are looking really good. When they open first, like these ones over here, they always look like they're not going to open fully, that they're going to hold back a bit on the flowers in their clusters. But then as they open fully, like these white ones here, it just shows a different picture. This one here with the stripes, the pink and white stripes, is really quite fetching. Okay, let's have a little walk in here, because there has been a bit of a change right over here. And right over here, beside the big clump of aroid there on the left, I have planted my little dwarf Japanese cherry blossom. Now this is a very small tree that after 20 years will get to 2 meters in height, so I don't think I've anything to worry about putting it in here in terms of height, because, well, 20 years time I don't think I'm going to worry about it being taller than me. But it is in a position that is semi-shaded, and the advice is that it should be grown in full sun. So I am going to put it in here this year and see how it does, and if it doesn't flower next spring, then I'll think about moving it again. But do you like how I've put that black grass all around the tree? I just think when this tree is in full flower with its white flowers, then the black grass is going to show it off so well. And that black grass is one that's supposed to be for full sun or semi-shade, and it has done so well in here for years and years and years, and so much so that I had lots of it to divide this year and just spread it out. And if it can do well in here, here's hoping the cherry tree can too. And as you can also see, the Trillium that I moved last year is also getting in a better position for flowering. So those pointy bits at the center of the 3 leaves are just beginning to colour up and to, well, look like they will eventually look like, but I can't wait to see them in flower. At the very front here I have some Erythroniums that have some well advanced buds, and these will flower white, and just things are coming on in leaps and bounds. So the Veratrum, which is just to the left here, is now a force to be reckoned with, and this will be up and at it very soon. And even in the soil just beyond, I don't know if we can really see that, but the Sanguinaria are well advanced too. And just beyond the daffodils we have a tree peony that actually looks really great after the rain. And I think I count 4 or 5 buds on this little tree peony. There was another one, but there was an accident when I moved the Rogersia behind it, and I'm afraid one of the buds got broken off. And just a little bit further over we can see that the daffodils, this other set of daffodils, are now in full flower. And what I love about these little white daffodils is that the leaves are not so intrusive as those of big daffodils, so you can get away with putting them in borders, because generally speaking daffodils in a border is not a good idea. And the clump I just showed you, well, it has that space. There's nothing else that grows there after those double daffodils finish flowering, whereas with something like this or miniature daffodils you can get away with succession planting. And the glory of the snow is actually looking very nice with the raindrops on it. And just over here we can have a look at the hyacinths I planted last autumn. And here we can get a close-up of the hyacinths that I planted last autumn, together with some corydalis, some little primroses, and they're coming along really nicely now, the hyacinths. And I do think they're going to be double flowers in from each bulb. So look down there, we can see that the most advanced flower is up a bit, but down there at its neck is a second flower coming out of the ground, which is weird because I did not think that this variety did this at all, but I guess it's a bonus. There are so many more buds on trees since the last video I made, which really wasn't very long ago, and just so much more greenery, and with a bit of sunshine on it, it just looks super. And the breaking news at the moment is that we have buds, not on the Magnolia just over there, but we do have them there. I'll show you them in a minute. But the breaking news is that the first cherry blossom tree has its first flowers. And this is a Prunus Accolade, which is the earliest flowering cherry blossom tree in my garden. And you have to look really closely to see them because it's not a profusion of flowers yet, it's just the odd one poking out. Can you see that fully opened one back there on the left, bobbing in the breeze? Now I can't bring you in closer because it's actually quite high up, but it's a really good sign. And here we have a cheery little cluster, and I love the buds of cherry blossom trees before they even open. So the white ones, very often their buds are pink, and I just think that's a wonderful feature. And down below the cherry tree we have the Magnolia. And do you see those white bits peeking out? Well, those are the buds, and the flowers, they're not quite open yet, but they're poking. And this of course is Magnolia stellata. But I have to tell you that I do have other magnolias in the garden which are going to flower as well. So let me see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, I've got 5 magnolias in total, but one of them is the summer flowering magnolia. I've got this stellata. I've got Star Wars, which is a Campbellii cross, which I featured in a recent video, and I've got 2 of the Soulangeana. And just taking a step back, there's the path we came through there. I just want to tell you that the alliums are planted last autumn are poking up here now, but we're going to take a little mooch down here. I want to show you the other magnolia trees. And in the last video somebody asked about this shrub, which I kind of glossed over, and this is Pseudowintera, which is a great evergreen shrub for a mild climate like mine and for acidic soil. Now I do have naturally acidic soil and it does well for me here. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing with different colours on the leaves that just make it sparkle. And also, for those of you who asked, here is Hosta Empress Wu. Now she's just coming into growth now, but she's ahead of the other hostas in my garden with her tall, very vigorous spikes, and she's going to make a great show this year. I feel it in my waters. So this here is Magnolia Star Wars, the birth tree for my daughter, although we did plant it after she was born. And again, up high we can see some buds. And just glancing across that border, we can see those tulips poking. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tulips. And behind them, my Melanosolenum forest. That's what I'm calling that little patch in there. And there's that viburnum just along there. The pink one. This viburnum tree is coming into flower again, and it really is such a really good one because this flowered last autumn when I was putting these tulips in the border, and now it's in flower again in spring, and the scent just comes to you in glorious wafts across the garden. Well, not from the other side of the garden, but if you're working in the border anywhere near. And let's just have a quick little look at the hellebores over here. And they're looking really quite well, although some of them are going past their best by. And it's important with hellebores to, I guess, to cut off the seed heads, because otherwise they do seed everywhere, including into the middle of their own clumps, and then the babies will overwhelm the parent, which is not a good thing. And here's where we started the video, ending up with this magnolia that is just about to burst forth into flower. And if you like this video, do let me know. Perhaps I'll make more garden tours, just kind of miniature ones like this, just to keep you updated with what's going on as it goes on. But for the moment, I need to get back to weeding and cutting back and all that kind of thing. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if so, then check back for more. Thanks for watching. Bye.